Hey guys, I hope you are well. I wanted to point out an article I saw this morning that really illustrates something that we all are fully aware of, but I think it's good that the mainstream media, um, I don't want to give them too much credit, but it's good that they're at least willing to call out the political figures that have been doing this. To what degree they're willing to call them out, I don't know. And you can tell they kind of dance around the real topic. But and if you've got some friend and family member Freds that want to buy in to 100% of the narrative from today's officials, I think you know which officials I'm referring to, and politicians and others in the mainstream media, I would just present this to them as proof positive that you cannot trust these people as far as you can throw them. So the fact that you are, or your friend and family member Fred, is making significant health decisions based on what he is being told, I think is alarming. And your friend and family member Fred, have every right to know that and understand that they may be making the right decision. They may be making decisions based on the real, true facts, but they may not be. We just don't know. Let me go to the article. So Biden administration to encourage boosters for most Americans. And the first thing, let's see. So the Biden administration will soon recommend that Americans get a cerveza sickness booster shot 8 months after completing their initial vax, according to 3 people familiar with discussions. That's rather vague, but it we'll assume that these people are credible. The announcement, which is expected as soon as this week, comes as administration health officials have coalesced around a plan to start distributing the shots as early as mid to late September. And here's the first thing I want to point out. The strategy is dependent on the FDA, first authorizing the boosters for eligible Americans, and officials are still hammering out specifics of the rollout. Here's where you need to start listening. But it represents a jarring shift from just days ago, when top health officials insisted publicly that it was unclear how soon the majority of people would require additional shots. Now, so let's get this clear here. Just days ago, top health officials insisted publicly something that they knew was untrue. They knew it was untrue. They knew what they were saying was factually incorrect. They knew that they would recommend, let's say, or the administration would most likely require, or that the data coming in led them to believe that the current vaccines would require a booster shot, but they told the American public something completely different. That's what I'm trying to get at here. So if they keep doing this over and over and over again, at what point does the average American start to not believe them? I mean, there's so many data points and talking points that you see circulating in the mainstream media right now that people just buy hook, line, and sinker. And it's just bizarre to me when these same individuals have misrepresented what they know is the truth to you intentionally over and over and over again. And here we go. Privately, several health officials had long believed that boosters would be required as soon as the fall to ensure that vaccinated Americans were protected against hospitalization and death from the cerveza sickness, or from cerveza sickness. Wait a minute here. Protection against hospitalization and death from basically the cerveza sickness. Well, see, you then have to ask yourself, okay, why? Well, from a scientific standpoint, from what I have studied, and I have done massive amounts of research on this over the past couple weeks, the vaccines from the data that has come in now, especially the Pfizer, I don't know about the others, but the information that you're getting, especially from Israel, regarding the Pfizer initial jab, is that the immunity didn't last as long as they thought. And when you read articles talking about the immunity of or natural immunity compared to vax immunity, it's always that vax immunity is better. It's better, it's better, it's better, it's better. It's not just better because you don't have to get the cerveza sickness, but it's better because it lasts longer. That's the mainstream narrative. And if you said anything to the contrary, you would get fact checked by our health overlords. And then you would be censored, right? But sure enough, everything that they're censoring, not, I shouldn't say everything they're censoring, but in this particular instance, what they were censoring turned out to be absolutely true. That the vaccinations, at least in the case of what they're saying or admitting to, is Pfizer. And I don't know how prevalent that is in the United States. I know it was very prevalent in Israel. But what they're saying now is, and see, they don't even say that in this article, which I find very telling, that they're just saying that, oh, we need a booster, we need a booster, we need a booster, but they don't tell you why. And the likely reason why, again, is because that, or the vaccinations do not offer immunity for as long as they told us they would. So whether that's, I've read studies that suggest it's only 3 months. What the mainstream media will tell you, it's up to a year or even longer. We just don't know what they would say. But now they're, of course, backpedaling and not telling you why they're backpedaling, because that would be, then they would really have to admit that they blatantly lied to you. But that's what you can infer by this article in and of itself. So again, privately, several health officials knew something, but yet told you the complete opposite and expected you to believe it. And if you didn't believe it, they would tell you that you were fear-mongering. They would tell you that they would try to censor you. They would try to deplatform you for saying something that they knew to be true. Think about the moral or lack of moral integrity and lack of ethics you have to have as an individual to do that to your fellow Americans. It leads you to one conclusion. It's the exact same thing as the World Economic Forum. It's the same thing as the IMF. It's the same thing as the central planners. They believe that they are incredibly intelligent, that they have had this epiphany, that they see the truth, they understand it, they get it, but you don't. And they can handle the facts, but you can't. So they need to hide these facts from you. They need to think for you because you're too stupid to make decisions based on the facts for yourself and your family. That's what it boils down to. It's a level of arrogance that is absolutely staggering. But we see it over and over and over again with the politicians, the central planners, and unfortunately now the health officials and social media. It's just this basic concept that they are smart and you are stupid. Therefore, they need to control and they need to manipulate you because they think that you just aren't smart enough to make these decisions on your own. They need to hide the truth from you. They need to just give you whatever information you need, or they need to spin it in whatever way necessary in order to get you to do what they want. And they, giving them the benefit of the doubt, they think that this is for your good because, again, they need to make this. The bottom line here is they believe that it's more beneficial to you if they make your health decisions than if you make your health decisions. And it's not just within health, it's economic as well. They believe that it's much better for them to make economic decisions for you than for you to make economic decisions for yourself and your family. That's what this all boils down to. Biden officials publicly maintained that the broader public did not need additional vaxes. Let me read that again. Biden officials publicly, notice they say publicly. So again, what they know to be true privately is the complete opposite of what they're telling you publicly. Biden officials publicly maintained that the broader public did not need any additional vaxes. Why? Because they are wary of undermining confidence in the jabs at the time they were desperately trying to convince, notice that word, convince 1/3 of the nation to get their first jab. They're coming right out and admitting they're manipulating you. They're coming right out and admitting they're hiding the truth from you because they think you can't handle the truth. They think that if they give you the truth, then you'll make the wrong decision because you're just too stupid to make the right decision. Therefore, they need to lie to you to try to convince you to make what they believe is the right decision for you and your family. So there you have it. And it's something that's, as far as the concept itself, I've been talking about this since the beginning of the channel. It's just like, it's the exact same thing the Fed does. It's when they come out and say that everything's fine, the economy is great, the economy is booming. It's the same thing the Fed and the media does with, with macro. They just tell you what they think you need to hear, and they hide the truth from you because they think you're too stupid to handle the truth. So I know I'm preaching to the choir on this live stream, but if any of you have friend and family member Freds that are just ignorant or just don't want to believe because of I think cognitive dissonance. They want to believe, it's very upsetting to think that there's no one you can trust. It's very upsetting to think that you just can't trust the institutions that you've been trusting your entire life, because it breaks down your entire worldview. And I think that psychological anxiety that's created by just the thought of someone's worldview or belief system being completely inaccurate is enough to get them to rationalize really any malfeasance, or to rationalize any of the bad actors, or any of the just blatant manipulation from the government, the institutions, and the officials that they have grown to trust. It's just, it's like the wife that just gets beaten up every single night, that gets physically abused by her husband and just keeps going back for more. People around her look at her just bewildered. Just, how can you do that? Like, why don't you leave him? Yet, while at the same time, that poor gal with bruises all over her body is making excuses for the person who is beating the shit out of her. It's exactly what's happening today with all of these, I guess we'll call them your friend and family member Freds, these people that are just refuse to see the truth and continue to make excuses and stick up for the government, the institutions, and the officials that are mentally abusing them and just flat out lying to them. All right. Let's do some shout outs here. We've got Angelique. Yeah, Stockholm Syndrome, exactly. We've got Jeff, Becky B, Wayne Smith, Jennifer West, CC Jelly, Jackie Alley, ERG Tacticus, 1979. Pork Barrel Investing, Sustainable Lumber Company, RR Todd Smitherman, Average Jane, there she is, in the house. Graham B, Brian Flynn, LD 619, One Punch, Sergey Petrov, was it Jacobs? E Jacobs, I think. E Jacobs, yes. Adam Ahmed, excuse me, Adam. Girth Inertia, Special K on acid, yeah. Seems like I'm on acid every single time I look at the news. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I'm going to go grab some lunch, and I will see you on the next video.